lot of boxing, a lot of sparring, all the physical straining, running, lifting weights. That's beautiful. But you need to practice on what you have to do, and you have to box. So you should do as much boxing as possible leading up to the fight.
Who am I? Who am I to the people? I have a kid now, like I said before. Honestly, it's just that fatherhood time. I haven't yet spent much more time with my son as I would want to. And he'll understand that as he gets older. If I can see, how can I change and how can I give my son more knowledge rather than luxury things, then I'm going to do that. And the Take Back is really just about inspiring others like we always do. And grabbing everything, becoming a 2-time undisputed world champion, breaking history and making more records, doing things that people have yet to see. And I'm just grateful to even be here, honestly.
You're hitting the bag, right? I see you hitting them when you walk. I want you to do like this. Boom, 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 boom. You keep for boom, 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 boom. How long you can do that? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A combination, boom, like punch. Boom, 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 boom.
And of course, hard work pays off. So this is where it shows. And yeah, man, I think that's the hardest part, though, is taking it all in. I think that's the hardest part, taking it all in. Because I want more. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied yet. I need more.
What else more you want? Is more boxing can give you?
I need to put my foot in their neck, Mike.
Oh, you want to hurt people?
I want to hurt them.
That's a good.
You know what? You know what I love about you, Mike? Is that right there. You always wanted your foot on their neck. Yeah, and I love that because it's the best feeling, man.
That's what the believe it or not, that's what the people want.
Yeah, of course.
People want that.
You know that feeling when boxing suddenly transforms into this massive mental chess match, where every single move isn't just about winning the actual fight, but controlling the entire story around it? That's exactly what's happening right now. So these clips started making rounds online, showing Mike Tyson rolling up to Teofimo Lopez's training camp, working through drills with him, and actually breaking down those classic peekaboo techniques that made him legendary.
I just say to God, I need your help here. Because I'm about to do something that I'm not built to do, and that's quit.
When you watch this footage, it hits different. There's Iron Mike himself, fine-tuning Lopez's reflexes, teaching those slip and counter combinations, carrying that unmistakable presence of someone who dominated at the highest level. This wasn't some quick photo op either. These videos have been blowing up across every platform, showing Tyson genuinely investing his knowledge into Lopez's fight preparation. But then things took an interesting turn. After those training sessions wrapped up, Tyson started making some pointed remarks about Shakur Stevenson. His comments came across like praise mixed with a serious warning. He acknowledged Stevenson's technical skills and ring intelligence, but then got completely honest about what it really takes to handle someone like Lopez at this elite level. That combination of recognition plus brutal honesty hit social media like a bomb. For Stevenson, having Mike Tyson essentially say you're talented but maybe overconfident creates exactly the kind of public scrutiny that forces you to wake up.
Like, do you recognize this energy?
Energy is beautiful, but we need something to match it. We need some.
Can't nobody match this energy, Mike. Come on.
I know, but you're looking at it, and this used to be a space that you lived in.
There's no doubt about it. That's why I'm getting excited with the other opponent.
Mike's just an instigator at this point. He just wants to instigate it. I love it.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing about it though is that guys like yourself, legends, I call it, is you guys paved the way. And I appreciate the sport so much. But there was one thing that you had once said. It's like, the way I love the sport, it could hurt you though, because it could break your heart many times.
Oh, many times.
And that's what it's been doing. Man. I love it. I love the sport. But my biggest thing now, my goal is not about, yes, the financial funds and all that, absolutely. Get paid, we risk our lives. But the whole thing is about making the fights happen that people want to see.
Think about what it actually means when Tyson, the guy who completely redefined intimidation and raw power in boxing, decides to personally mentor a young fighter like Lopez. It completely shifts the storyline. Everyone now knows Lopez isn't just putting in regular work. He's learning battle-tested fundamentals from someone who lived at the top. Plus, it creates this uncertainty factor. Tyson's peekaboo system revolves around tight defense, devastating counters, and perfect timing. That's basically a horror movie for any fighter who depends on single powerful shots and explosive pressure bursts. Bottom line, Lopez coming out of those sessions is a completely different version of the fighter who went in. This puts Stevenson in a fascinating position. From a storytelling perspective, you've got this perfect triangle brewing. Stevenson represents the smooth, defensive artist. Lopez brings that confident, explosive power. And Tyson becomes this unpredictable mentor figure who's quietly upgrading Lopez's arsenal. Those comments from Tyson, mixing respect with warnings, accomplish two major things. They acknowledge how skilled Stevenson really is, while suggesting Lopez might approach this fight with completely new tools. That kind of mental pressure matters because in these big fights, momentum gets built on what fighters think about each other long before they step in the ring.
That when you think the further you pull your hand back, the harder you punch, but it's not. Punching comes with relaxation, real good pinpoint accuracy punching. You can hit a guy with pop and boom, but hit the guy at the right target.
Now let's break down the technical side of how Tyson's input could actually change this matchup. Shakur's biggest advantage comes from controlling distance, incredible head movement, and this almost scientific way of turning defense into instant offense. He operates like a precision instrument in there, making tiny adjustments, perfect timing, finding gaps that other people can't even see.
And if you went in the 3, 2, 1, relax. Yeah, follow me through and have a big pop. 3, press, 1, 2, 3, back flat, 4. Yes, sir. Yes. Last 3.
Lopez fights more like controlled destruction. He's explosive and confident, capable of ending entire rounds with one perfect combination. Here's the thing about Tyson's peekaboo system, though. It's not about making you look prettier in there. It's about turning chaos into deadly efficiency. Compact guard work, smart head movement, counter timing that's been perfected through years of experience. If Lopez picks up even pieces of that approach, he can close distance while taking way less punishment. That's a nightmare scenario for anyone trying to keep things technical and clean.
Been in the ring before, he knows the in and out about fighting, and it's just that we had to transfer that because he's using his legs and elbows and everything, grabbing. So we kind of, I don't know, did a new foundation and made him more elusive. You know, made him more elusive. He throws his punches with just bad intentions. And I used to believe the consistency of the hard punches to the body.
Now, let's think through the tactical implications here. Stevenson's perfect game plan probably involves using his reach advantage, snapping that jab consistently, finding angles and frustrating Lopez until he makes desperate moves. That strategy banks on Lopez getting impatient and walking into mistakes. But what if Lopez now has much tighter head movement and those sudden compact counters? Suddenly Stevenson might not get all that free space he's counting on. Nobody's claiming Tyson's coaching will turn Lopez into a defensive master overnight, but it could eliminate a lot of Stevenson's comfort zone and force him into either taking bigger risks or getting into the kind of rough exchanges he usually avoids. That makes Mike's warning comments more than just hype. They're a reminder that this chess match is still being played.
Good. Well, so you have to have a constant attack. You can't go out there toe-to-toe slugging. You got to cut him off, chase him.
Mm-hmm. Cut the ring off.
Yeah.
I think he's got good footwork.
He has good speed, too.
He's got great speed. He's got great power.
Yeah.
Let's step back and look at the bigger picture here. Tyson making cautionary statements about Stevenson is also brilliant media strategy. It generates these headlines about Iron Mike warning the young champion, which gets fans buzzing, analysts debating, and both fighters mentally engaged. It's not meant to be disrespectful. This is just how boxing works. Veterans challenge younger fighters because it creates interest in the fight, and it also forces those young fighters to sharpen their mental game. When Stevenson sees this stuff trending on social media, he's got two paths. Either use it as motivation to get even sharper, or let it mess with his head and lose focus. Champions typically convert that kind of doubt into extra work. They turn it into additional sparring sessions, more detailed preparation, and throughout boxing history, the great fighters have always used skepticism to add precision to their training rather than letting it break them down.
I'll have to drop the heavy up. You look.
This is where things get really interesting for fans and people analyzing the fight. Is Tyson's involvement actually calculated psychological warfare? Could the Lopez camp be intentionally planting seeds of doubt in Stevenson's mind? It's definitely possible. Boxing has always been as much about mental games as physical combat. Having viral footage of Tyson personally coaching Lopez and sharing technical secrets becomes this piece of theater that forces Stevenson and his team to react somehow. And how they choose to respond reveals their strategy. Do they release their own training footage? Do they emphasize Stevenson's defensive brilliance in interviews? This social media battle becomes another round to win before the actual fight happens. We've already started seeing new training clips from Shakur's camp in response, but here's what's important to remember. None of this erases what Stevenson brings to the table. His highlight reel is packed with elite-level movement, incredible timing, and staying calm under serious pressure. He's beaten top-tier opponents by simply outboxing them completely, and his team knows exactly how to build strategies around his natural gifts. When Tyson tells Stevenson to be careful, it's the same as any coach telling their fighter to respect their opponent. It's about staying alert and prepared, and champions love that kind of reminder. They convert it into discipline and focus, which seems to be exactly what Shakur is doing right now.
Tom, you got Tom in January 31st. Cool gonna beat your yeah, put that in there.
Loosen up a little bit. Shadow boxing, get some sparring. Maybe about 8 to 10 rounds. And
everybody talking about Teo going win. Y'all all know that he gonna lose, bro. Shakur actually fight accurate people, like not bums. Like he fought Oscar Valdez. Tate pulled out the fight because he's scared. Ryan Garcia's scared. Like they all scared. Even Devin Haney. Shakur gonna stop him. This easy. That's so easy. Y'all already know the question. Shakur on top.
That was a good fucking job. I don't know. It ain't like I said. Your boxing get better by the hour. Okay. Soon you'll be undefeatable.
Niggas would all be just sitting back. Like, you saw him waiting though, right? He was waiting for me to come in. I felt it.
All right, let's have some fun with this. Trying to predict the actual fight is entertaining, but the real story here is this human drama unfolding. You've got a legendary figure personally mentoring a rising contender, and that same legend publicly evaluating a technical master like Stevenson. It's classic boxing theater where past meets present, ego meets skill, and the media curious amplifies everything. On fight night, all this speculation and social media drama will either prove significant or fade into background noise. The actual fighting will be the final judge, but this build-up with Tyson's coaching clips and pointed comments has already created multiple layers to this story. It makes everything more compelling when the power is this real.
It all works hand in hand. It flows like water, as Bruce Lee says. And let me tell you, Tyson Fury said it doesn't matter if he has Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, and Mike Tyson training him. The fact of the matter is, all of those three combined are a novelty of the cuss style, of a boxing style that Mike knows like the back of his hand. And
so what should people watch for during the actual fight? First, pay attention to how Lopez moves after those sessions with Tyson. Look for tighter defense, less reckless exposure, more controlled entries into exchanges. Second, watch whether Stevenson's usually perfect footwork gets disrupted. Can Lopez close distance more effectively? Or does Stevenson create even better angles to work from? Third, listen for the mental aspect. How do both fighters handle pressure when it gets intense? Those first few exchanges are going to reveal a huge part of the story. If Tyson's influence shows up early in Lopez's approach, that's going to be the main headline everyone talks about afterward.
Why was this the right fight for you, Teo?
The best fight in the best. And I think that since, after a tremendous performance by Crawford against Canelo, you see that type of fight and the magnitude it brings, you want to emulate it.
You could have fought anybody as well. 135. Look for unification. For you, why was this the right one?
If you look in and around my weight class, I can't get the other big fighters to get in the ring. So you got to go to somebody who's willing to do it, and he was willing to do it, so now we're here.
What do you think of Shakur, his style?
Great fighter. Good fighter. He knows how to fight. He knows how to box inside, outside. He knows how to use his lateral movement. So I think that all those things I need in order to enhance my skill sets and also to challenge myself, because we can't say we are the best if we don't see it or look for it or even go out there and test it.
You've been critical of him, though, over recent months. I think you said he had the power of a 6-year-old at one point on social media. You did, yeah. You had a lot of tweets over there.
I don't even remember. Dang. I don't even know what I'd be doing.
But you seem to believe that 140 may be a bridge too far for him, a step too far for him.
Shakur was honestly the most flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories. I think 135 was his top tier. 140, I think we just gotta wait and see. You know what I mean? And for him to even come up to do that,
those opening exchanges will tell us most of what we need to know. If Tyson's coaching becomes obvious in Lopez's early strategy, that'll be the story everyone focuses on in their analysis afterward. Let's get one thing straight before we wrap this up, though. Training footage doesn't win fights. Reputation doesn't win fights. Quality preparation and execution win fights. Tyson's involvement makes for compelling storylines, dramatic and engaging, but it doesn't guarantee anything. What actually matters is whether those lessons got properly absorbed, whether Stevenson's team makes the right adjustments, and whether the actual fight performance matches up with all the planning. That's what makes boxing so captivating. All the build-up and talk just becomes background music until that bell rings and the fighters create their own narrative through action.
Yeah.
I was already going up to the 40s. I was already at 40.
Yeah, for sure.
So you see that 10-pound gap. I was thinking I was probably going to move up to 47.
Okay, seeing me, you think I'm smaller in person or like, what do you think?
I know nothing.
Okay.
I know nothing, man.
I think that was your angle with Lomachenko. Like, I felt like you knew how little Lomachenko was, and you kind of capitalized off of that.
Heck no, that man was a lot to deal with.
This is exactly the kind of subplot that makes Fight Week absolutely magnetic. You get high-level boxing strategy, you get compelling theater, and you get to watch young fighters developing under the influence of all-time greats. Mike Tyson offering warnings to Shakur Stevenson after working personally with Teofimo Lopez is precisely the type of dramatic headline that makes everyone pay closer attention. So get comfortable, mark your calendars for the fight, and enjoy this beautiful, chaotic, brilliant mess that only boxing can create. Who's gonna win? The bell will provide that answer, but this build-up has already delivered a championship-level story.